Welcome, everybody. Over the course of my journey of trying to get somewhat good at golf, I've had the great opportunity to acquire a vast amount of knowledge. Whether this is from the tube, from people I meet out on the course, coaches, instructors, really great players, whatever. I've had a chance to acquire a lot of knowledge in this big old head of mine. And a good amount of that knowledge is typically concentrated on that of practice and how you should practice, how you shouldn't practice, everything in between. But I must admit, I have a bit of a mixed relationship when it comes to practice. After all, why would I want to spend an hour on the putting green hitting putt after putt after putt when I could simply go and four putt on hole 7 at my local municipal golf course, right? Why would I choose one over the other? As I've grown wiser and older in my short few years here golfing as a young man, I have started to really appreciate practice. Now, not just practice, intentional practice, and practice that actually simulates somewhat of what a round is going to look like. Now, this 3-part practice series is going to showcase what I do for my practice routine as an aspiring low handicap golfer. Now, this might look different from you. You might have different things that you need to work on, but I really hope you can find something in this video today. Part 1 of 3 of this practice series is going to focus on the putting. What only 1 hour of focused putting practice can do for you to increase your ability to putt for that dough. Let's get after it. Drill number 1, everybody. The gate and setup / address drill. The setup for the golf swing, as we should all know by now, is one of the most important aspects of being consistent. Same goes for putting. Starting every practice session with a simple gate drill is, in my humble opinion, a must. The gate drill itself is pretty straightforward. Place 2 tees just a hair wider than the putter head and swing on through. Try not to hit the tees, of course. If you want to add some pizzazz, you can hit a ball on an intended line to make sure that you are getting good rollout, but I prefer to just start like this. There are going to be plenty of putts being hit throughout the entirety of this practice routine. Drill number 2, the 3, 5, and 8-foot putts. As a younger lad at the ripe age of 25, I had the great opportunity to start my golf career with instruction from a friend who had played collegiate golf at a pretty decent school. And time again, she talked about how her coach would have everybody on the team grind the 3, 5, and 8-foot putts. And you'll see that reflected in this extremely simple drill. You have seen this drill, most likely if you've spent any time on golf YouTube. Measure 3 feet away from the hole, either using your putter or your feet, and attempt to make X amount of putts in a set. Personally for me, I usually go for 10 putts made for 3 feet, 10 for 5, and 10 for 8. Now, some people can spice this up by making these mandatory putts, right? You have to make 10 in a row from 3. You have to make 8 in a row from 5, so on and so forth. And if you don't, you restart. That is very much up to you. Of course, you'll move from the 3-foot putts over to the 5-foot putts and then to the 8-foot putts. But my big suggestion here is you need to, at the very least, switch up the line between 5 and 8 feet. Keeping the same line for the entirety of all of the drills is just going to get you too used to the line that you're on, and it's going to make it a little bit easier than it should. Some people I've met switch it up every single time, or others do it between different distances. It's very much up to you, as long as you're switching it up somewhat. Now, one thing you're not going to see in this video, and something I'm not going to give advice on, is that of the grip. Having talked to so many players, coaches, and instructors, I've really just gotten the overall impression that when it comes to grip, it's whatever gets your ball on line and into the hole. As long as it's legal, as long as it's comfortable, you should go with it if it's giving you good, consistent results. Drill number 3 is the par 2 game. This drill is going to be all about the 2 putts, my friends. Pick a random distance on the putting green, or simply go from pin to pin, hole to hole, depending on what you have at your practice facility. Play each rep as a par 2, with the intention of playing a full 18 holes. Keep track of your score over that 18 and see how much you improve over your multiple practice sessions throughout your season. Going from flag to flag keeps lines fresh, keeps you fresh, right? Because you're not bored, you're actually changing it up a little bit, helps you stay engaged, and it doesn't give a false sense of confidence if you're hitting on the same line and the same pin over and over again. This is tremendously going to help the 2-putts and the leg putts, of course, as you can see. Another big reason I love this drill is the use of gamification through that par 2 model. Competing with yourself on the course is what most likely you're going to experience for the vast majority of your rounds, so competing against yourself in practice is also pretty important. If you aren't using gamification or some level of pressure in your practice routines, you really should start adding that in. Drill number 4 is what I like to call the pressure putt. Set up a tee at 3, 5, 7 feet, longer if you so wish, with a single ball lined up on each of the distances. The goal is to make all 3 putts in a row to count for a single rep completed. The catch, if you miss any of the putts, you restart the rep. How many reps are in the full drill is really up to you. I typically like to see how many times I 3-putted in the previous round I shot before practice, and I have to hit that many reps for this drill. This drill can be pretty brutal, but again, simulating being on the course is truly the key here. I personally would recommend switching up the line in between each of the reps. That way, you're keeping things fresh. Last but certainly not least is drill number 5, the decade distance drill. Now this drill is pretty easy to set up. You can either walk this out each time or simply put a tee down at 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, and 40 feet. 3 balls for each of the distances. What we want to do is make it within a 1-foot radius from 5 to 10 feet, 2 feet for 15 to 20, 3 feet for 30, and then lastly 4 feet for 40. And that's that. This entire practice routine, if you do it with intention, if you don't get too distracted, will run you about an hour, give or take, depending on is it busy on the green where you practice and a few other factors, of course. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share to a friend, and make sure to subscribe. That way you are here for part 2 of this practice series when it drops. Let me know in the comments if you think this is a good routine that would work for you, or if you think this is just gonna make me 3-putt for the rest of my life, or change the life of every golfer who watches this video so much so that it even inspires Tiger to get an Uber. Now go hit some putts.